Hello and welcome to Wake and Jake. Myself, Jake Storielli, Big Baby David, talking about the wide world of sports, mostly baseball, if we're being honest. Although, some playoff hoops actions. How about it? How are your Pacers looking? How are your Knicks looking? Bing bong. Seen that? Viral. We could hit a little bit of that on the way through. But for baseball, I was debating Brother Eno. Happy Conclave Day to everyone that's involved in that. I have my if you're watching on the YouTube, I've called this my cult leader shirt. Is it a laundry day and the season's just changed and I needed a shirt? Absolutely. Was it nice that it was Conclave Day? Sure.
Play it off as intentional and
rooting for it. I very much have now doubled down on my bad facial hair with this shirt, and I look like Valentin's cousin. Like if instead of the one scene in White Lotus where they went to the club and it was his like Russian buddies, if it was like a different European country, like if he was from, what vibe am I giving? Portuguese? Is that the energy I'm giving off right now? Anyways, some of you probably enjoyed that 15 seconds, and some of you would wish you'd have it back. So, most of you are here for baseball. Let's yuck some ball. Eno had some things that were worrying him around the league, but it was kind of just like, yeah, that's Kikuchi's stuff being bad is bad. So I didn't want to double down on that. I kind of wanted to flex the baseball muscle today. You can hear it in my voice, the coffee slapping. And, you know, me and John Boy, lucky enough to do casuals with Katie Nolan yesterday. Go check that out. We had a lot of fun. Katie Nolan, I don't want to say legend because legend implies like you're old and she's not, but kind of a legend. Like a lot of my buddies are like, they like to make fun of what I do, but when they're like, oh shit, like Katie Nolan, that's really cool. So go check that out. And I guess what I was alluding to, baseball good. I think everyone's very interested to see where all the TV contract stuff goes on. If you're business of baseball, that's going to be a huge thing. Is MLB going to lean into streaming? Are people going to be able to watch baseball? Because that's a huge factor. And that's why the Yankees, the Cubs, the Dodgers, it's a lot easier for them to do the business of baseball because they have these really good TV contracts that hopefully baseball is going to figure it out. This is all a long-winded way of saying baseball doles out money, man. Again, I don't want this to be as backhanded as it comes off, but like Nick Martinez got the qualifying offer this year, which was $20 million. There's some of you that may be loose sports fans that don't know what team Nick Martinez is on. That's just being real. He's on your Reds. God, he can twirl it. But it was just a realization for me. Trey McBride got the largest tight end contract. It was $15 million. And I was like, what? Like, it's just this weird thing. Obviously, there's more guys on a football team. And NBA, there's less guys. So it doesn't always come down to contracts. At the same time, Juan Soto got $800 million to play baseball this offseason. He is one of the best hitters the game's ever seen. He's not a perfect player. He's not. His defense is lackluster. His hitting so not lackluster that it got him that much money. Ohtani changed the game with his contract where he's gonna be retired collecting $40 million. Baseball, the sport, is doing very well. If you've definitely heard, whether here or talking baseball or talking Yanks or wherever, you know, the baseball is dead, people. And I'm not talking our guy Carabas. Like, baseball's not dead. Baseball's flourishing. The only thing baseball is missing is the pure star power and recognition that other sports have, where, okay, the NBA playoffs that are going on right now, okay, go tune into Golden State versus Minnesota, and you're going to see Anthony Edwards, who might be next, man. I don't know. His playoff, the list of guys he's taken down in the NBA playoffs already at his age, and what he's doing with a Minnesota Timberwolves franchise that is a sneaky, if you ranked every franchise across sports, 1 through 125 or whatever the number comes out to, you'd be shocked to see where the Minnesota Timberwolves are. Like, for having KG to then Kevin Love and now Ant, this is the best they've ever been. Like, KG had to flee. Mm-hmm. And, like, think of wherever you hold KG in your basketball echelon nowadays, if he didn't flee, you wouldn't think that way. Kevin Love, like, had to flee. Saying flee a lot. And I don't know, me and Zoe from We Got Ice were having a debate because I'm a big Ant guy. And if you traded Ant for Shea, how different are those teams? I don't know. Why don't you comment below? But that is what the NBA has. It's star power. It's 9 o'clock last night. I can put on that game. I'm going to see Draymond Green. I'm going to see Steph. I'm going to see Ant. You turn on a Yankee game, it could be the rare day Judge goes 0 for 4. Haven't been happening a lot. He's out of his dome. And he's a guy, what was Judge's contract? 360?
360.
That's not bad. That's pretty good. So baseball is missing that star effect, and it's where everyone points to the starting pitcher, and hopefully we can get that back in baseball some way, because at least then you know, if you have the Verlander versus Scherzer, you know every inning you're going to see them on every play, and then you're going to see everybody else. So I am in on the starting pitching argument. It needs to get better. I'm keeping the door open to, some of these crazy DH rules about, like, hey, do you get to keep the start? Do you lose the DH if you pull the starting pitcher early? I'm open and interested to any idea like that, because I do think that could really help the game. Anyways, all of that was who's about to get paid. And that was the article Brother Jeff dove into. And I like that it's a little preview of who's coming up this year in free agency. And then he tiers it out 100 mil, 200 mil, 300 mil, 4, 5, and 6. I mean, again, I know a lot of these numbers exist around other sports, but actually 300, 400, 500, 600, they kind of don't. Like, what was Mahomes' like crazy 13-year deal? Wasn't that in the 3s?
I would say 3s, maybe 4s. It's been restructured a couple times,
right?
But
so Passan goes into it, and he does leave out some names of guys who already got $100 million deals. Do we get a Mahomes?
Looks like 10 for 50.
Okay.
So
okay.
More than we were giving it credit for.
Patrick Mahomes. That's kind of the whole point here. Vladdy Jr. just got more than Patrick Mahomes. That's something. People aren't sure how good Vlad is. He's good. He's good. Sorry, Blue Jay fans. 100 mil, and let's look at this year's free agency. So this can be a little bit of a preview for you, who are going to be some of the big dogs. And I'm stoked to see my guy Polar Bear Pete back. And like any free agency, these guys have work to do, and they've got to keep it up, and injury, the whole dance. So I'm going to get that speech out of the way now. Although for my guy Pete, I need it. I have a lot of receipts from last year that I was like, Pete's going to get paid, power hitter. How many times can you lock it in? And then he didn't. And then Pete didn't, which was a very interesting case of, well, he openly wanted to be a Met. Remember when Pete's free agency started to linger and he said, the only team I would take one of these deals from is the Mets? That was a big sign that he wanted to be a Met, which if you're a Mets fan, that's exciting. If you're Pete's agent, bad time. Pete is still going nuts this year. 2.4 WAR out of Pete. It's May 7th. He's leading the NL in WAR, B-WAR. Did you know? I might tweet that shit out. I tweet that shit on anything. Hot sauce joke. Peter Alonso is leading the National League in games. Great. Doubles. Hits. Pete Alonso's your hit king. 34 RBI leads the league. Batting average, on base, slugging, and OPS. Do people know this? Like, I think everyone knew Pete was slugging and driving in runs. Did we know Pete is doing this? God, I love it. I had a lot of receipts I might dig up that Pete Alonso, he was a 2.6 WAR player last year. He's already at 2.4. It is May 7th. Pete is going to go back to free agency. We all thought Vlad was going to be in this free agency. He is not. Our boy Peter should be doing very well. I'm happy for him. It's probably just going to be the Mets who lock him up, because if he does this for a full year, you can't let him go, Steve. Them's the rules.
And he's on pace to, in the next month, become the Mets' all-time home run leader. That's a Met fan storyline. I do my digging.
I mean, Pete plays like this.
Plays like this sets the home run record.
Is 200 nuts for Pete? We'll have time to do that. How about your boy, Michael King? Michael King, unfortunately, ran into the New York Yankees last night. Actually, he was good.
After him's when it went wrong.
More so, our guy Wandy Peralta. Man, Michael King, I think a lot of people got to see the playoff start last year. His pitches are electric. His mound presence feels like old school ace. Like, I'm better than you. I'm showing you that with my body, but I'm not, like, taunting you, yet I am. Michael King, he's going to turn 30 in a couple weeks. Happy birthday, Michael King. Last year, 173 innings to a 2.95. The year before that, 104 to a 2.75. That's when he transitioned to starting pitcher. This year, 8 starts, 44.2 innings, a 2.2 ERA, more than a strikeout per inning. I think this has lined up perfectly for Mike King. And I'm wondering, with the pitcher's injury thing, I wonder if there's a team that's going to look at more models of the Mike King type of coming up, being a starter in the minors, joining the bullpen, becoming a multi-inning reliever, and then getting stretched out. Because I think the only thing we know about elbows is they fully mature at 27 or something like that, and that's right when he started switching. Anyways, the only problem is you lose eligibility years for guys that Mike King is now going to hit free agency with not a ton of innings, and it feels like he's peaking and he's built up. If he continues to pitch like this, I think he could push 2. Like, okay, let's think about it. So Michael King, he'll be 30, 6-year deal. Aces get 35 now?
Kind of a starting point.
What's 35 times 6? I know, but just for the listeners at home.
That's going to be in the
210.
So that's what Burns got?
210. So, yeah, I don't, you put a 7 in front of it, I think we're there easily. Max Fried was 8?
8 for 218.
So, I think, could teams like Mike King as much as teams like Max Fried? I think so. But, yeah, I might have him closer to 2. I think one of the most interesting ones to check in on this season is his teammate, Dylan Cease. Currently had a rough start to the season, although the FIP is there. Passan says he should get a 5+ year deal, but 200+ is probably out of reach because of the walks. And I guess we did see a little of that with Snellogram. Dylan Cease, a premier arm. I think the stats are going to come back that we shouldn't overreact to the early 5.61 ERA, although hopefully for one more night it stays in that area because he's pitching against the Yanks tonight. Shut up, Jake. Okay. Zac Gallen. I have him circled as an interesting one. His stuff has ticked down a little bit. Passan notes that in the article. He's got a little Jack Flaherty to me. Like, I think Zac Gallen is really, really good. I think teams are going to be scared to give him the long-term deal. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Zac Gallen shoves the rest of this year, because if he does, he has a little more consistency than Jack had on his baseball card. But they pay you for what they think is coming. So Gallen, with the stuff ticking down, I think a lot of teams would be a lot more excited to give him the shorter, juiced deal. that we will have to see. I'm interested in that one. This one blows everyone's mind. It's our guy Framber Valdez. Throwing harder than he's ever thrown at age 32. Listed 5'11", 232. You like a guy who's good in the postseason. You like a lefty. You like a guy that keeps it in the park. You like it as someone who gets better as the games go on. Framber's going to be 32 next opening day, so that's interesting. But, man, he has been consistently – get the Framber stats out for you a little bit. A mesh start to the season. Dude, he was at 2.91 last year. That's crazy. 3.45 the year before, 2.82 the year before, career 3.35 ERA. He's got a little more miles on him, I guess. I mean, you'd have to give him at least 4 years, right? And then what we just talked about, ace pricing, yeah, that lands him right in that middle of the 100 million lane. He's going to be a fun free agency. If I'm the Boston Red Sox, I would sign that guy yesterday. But a lot of teams should sign that guy yesterday. Man, and this is where the exercise gets a little fun and a little different. Our guy Bo Bichette. Jeff mentions 2 years ago it looked like a 300 milli guy. He's got to figure out his hitting and his defense a little bit. I think for him, going with the Bellinger, Matt Chapman 2-year, 3-year with opt-out deals, I would do that. Because if you're Bo Bichette and you put together what your offensive profile should be and you take away the question marks, again, shortstops get crazy money. Bo's still young. He's going to be 28. That would mean he's 27. Little manalytics for you. I like him. If he doesn't turn it around and go nuts this year, I kind of like him doing the choppier deal because in one of the next 3 years, it's why I do tend to like those deals. And Cody's kind of the last test of it, belly for the Yanks, that if you have 3 seasons to have one of your good years. And I think Bo Bichette should do that. This one's fun. And I guess it's not a name I would have jumped to when we're talking 100 mil. Schwarbs. Kyle Schwarber. He's going to be a free agent this year. He's basically just a DH. But when you lead the league in home runs, that's what you're looking for out of your DH. And it's such a fun swing. Do you want him in the middle of your lineup? It looks like he's felt a little more comfortable there. I don't want to just lineup card him. He's going to be 33. He might be a DH only. But again, when you put the numbers on paper, 25 times 4, that gets you there. That Schwarbs, I was surprised to see. In the contenders column, a couple weird ones. Luis Arraez, I mean, just circle that because I don't know what happens. I don't think a team's going to get him there unless it's a long contract. But man, so many teams use WAR and they like defense. I did this with Gleyber Torres at second base. Like I was like, what? No team's going to really roll it out there for Gleyber. He got 1 for 15, right?
Yeah. You got a couple of those offers, but...
Right, but like at the end of the day, how differently does Arraez profile than Gleyber? It's obviously a contact stick that's not replicated, but he can't play defense. Like teams move him around the infield.
Like to get a multi-year contract for a guy that you don't know what position they're going to play and they're not going to hit a lot of home runs, let alone Arraez, who's going to be closer to 0 than 15. Weird. Than 20.
It's tough. I hope
it's hard to see the multi-year deal happening because it's just the way these front offices tend to think.
It's just tough because if you put him at first base, you've limited one of your power positions. Same with DH. If I'm a team and I'm willing to sacrifice DH that way, and then maybe he's just a versatile util guy to rest your other dudes. But yeah, I don't know. 100 mil. God, I don't know what to do with that one. I'm not going to pretend to have expert knowledge. I would love to hear what Jeff actually thinks on that one.
Because, text him. production on the
Flex.
field, and like if you're one of the people that's been in a fan base that watches him play every day, you probably say he does deserve that from somebody. But who's it gonna be?
Like how many teams? Like last year, he hit 314, 346, a 739 OPS. He won the batting title. It has his B WAR at 1. Like there's a lot of teams that scoff at Luis Arraez. I don't think he should fully be judged that way. And I think whatever team gets Luis Arraez is probably going to end up loving him. But the money is going to be very interesting. Can't wait to see who gets involved there. Can I tell you about our presenting sponsor, Cushy Dreams? The best in legal cannabis just got better. You know our friends at Cushy Dreams by now. If you don't, I just don't even know what to tell you. Great THC products that ship directly to you. Everyone loves their gummies. If you've seen us consume their gummies, probably on our JJTV channel, maybe the IKF trade, they get the job done. They also have the THC flower power, baby. Whether you're looking indica, sativa, hybrids, the stuff is euphoric. They have all of it. And if you're looking to smoke, if you're looking to nibble, if you're looking to do whatever you like to do when you do what you do, why don't you do it with our friends at Cushy Dreams? And why don't you save yourself 20% off the gummies, the smokable THCA flower, the entire store when you use code JOHNBOY at checkout. Go check out our friends at Cushy Dreams. They're the best. Code JOHNBOY, 20% off. All right, the last notables there by passing. Jack Flaherty, who he could. I think if he finds his forever home and they want to give him 4 years, he is there. And I hope that happens for Jack. Cedric Mullins listed. An interesting case of things and stuff. I don't know if I see that, although he's been balling out this year. And then how about your boy Josh Naylor sneaking on the list? Might be able to ride the coattails of Pete the Meat a little bit. And sneaky just hits. Josh Naylor, after having a slow start to his MLB career, which, just a reminder, he got called up pretty young, like 22. That since 2022, which, now we're on year 4, OPS plus is of always 119 plus. He doesn't rack up WAR because of the defensive stuff, but he has just hit 856 OPS this year. I know that's a recognizable number, but it's also not a lot of people live in that space. 308, 387, 469 slug this year. And yeah, if you do the last 3 years, he's been an 800 OPS guy, and he might be getting better because age-wise, he turns 28 in June. So, 100 mil Josh Naylor?
Have to go nuts.
Get the years. If that's a number he wants to hit year-wise, I think you could do that. And, yeah, if you're a team in the right hitting park, because I think Cleveland opening up that wind tunnel in right field, and then Arizona being a place to hit.
If he does another 30-piece,
sure, I'll take 31.
We can talk 100.
30 homers, 8 OPS. I don't know. I guess I still do have Pete in my head for Naylor. That's I could see that being tough. Okay, an important note here: passing before climbing the ladder of hundreds of millions. He does it by year of free agent class, and I guess this is just good to note. I don't know whatever timeline your team is. I tend to think of the Washington Nationals, who are ready to pop at one point and really invest in their team. Passing notes the 26-27 free agency, shaping up to be an all-time weak grouping. So if that's where you're hoping to get your bidding done, you might need some different plans. Looks like Freddie Peralta will lead that class, and he will get paid. And I think easily in the 100 million range. I mean, if he peaks and has the right free agency, I think 2 is even more in play. But I'll go through the list of quote unquote contenders. Quote unquote was a little rude. That was a little my goatee speaking there. Randy Arozarena, Alec Boehm, who, I don't know, Phillies fans were ready to wave early on this year. Chris Bubich has entered the chat. Jazz Chisholm, Adolis Garcia, Ian Happ, second contract. Ian, put on those pinstripes. See how they feel. Nico Horner, Gavin Lux, Jesus Luzardo, Casey Mize has made the list.
Free agency, huh?
Brady Singer, Seiya Suzuki, and Dalton Varsho. So, again, I could put this, if I'm being Jakey positive, those names getting $100 million is kind of eye-popping, which maybe that's a great thing for baseball. A lot of these guys will have to control their own fate and kind of play above their skis because, I mean, Casey Mize. I'm happy for Casey Mize. You guys know I love a draft pedigree. You guys know I pitted Jolly and Foolie. Oh, like that. Make sure bottle that for next time.
Jolly Foolie.
Casey Mize, the former 1-1 pick in 2018, who up until this year, I butter knifed the stats wrong, and then I accidentally hit that button that makes the dictionary thing pop up on your laptop. What's that feature? Has anyone ever used that? Casey Mize before this year, 9-19. Imagine. We used to just look at records. A 4.36 ERA, 291 innings. I don't know. Again, if he pitches like he has this year, 6 starts, a 2.7 ERA, and he rides that for 2 more years, yeah, but I don't. It's crazy that he's listed, but I think that's just the crop that people are eyeing.
Kind of everybody in that group we just said, like this year and a half, 2 years, has to be the best stretch we've seen.
Right.
Which is doable.
Sure.
And what were we saying about Mike King 2 years ago?
Why not? Right? If Mike King was on this list.
Especially if you're a pitcher,
point.
you can go.
A great point. Things get a little juicier in 2027, 2028. I'll be honest, I'm not going to talk about Adley Rutschman a lot because I think if I do, I have a good chance to put my foot in my mouth. It just hasn't been great for Adley for a little bit now. Obviously, the pedigree is there, and obviously it's going to turn around, he said confidently. Biggest catcher contract ever, Joe Mauer, 184. JT Realmuto was locked in at 115.5. So let's, Adley, figure it out. Because Passan mentions if he wrote this article a couple years ago, he would have been in the 300 million group. Adley's stock has gone that way. It's got to turn around, right? Shane McClanahan listed. Yeah, that left arm, get him healthy, throwing the pill the right way, sure. Jeremy Pena. Okay. This is why you should be a shortstop, kids. This is why if Bo Bichette figures it out, he could get a crazy payday because I think Bo Bichette can out-hit Jeremy Pena. He cannot field like Jeremy Pena. And you know what? Jeff Passan says a pretty comparable free agency. Willie Adames. Yeah. I mean, Pena can pick it. Can his offensive season? You know, Willie went, what was it, 30-20, which was kind of his best offensive season in some metrics. Pena's pretty steady if he can tick up a little bit. Oh, yeah. Mackenzie Gore for your Nationals. How do you like leading MLB in K rate? That'll help. Again, a former top prospect guy. People kind of started selling on Mackenzie Gore, and he is back. So, yeah, easy formula there. William Contreras, start placing your bets now. William Contreras versus Adley Rutschman. Who gets the bigger contract? That could be a fun one to watch as those two do a little back and forth for top catcher with big dumper Cal Raleigh. Let's see how that sorts out. Stephen Kwan. Passan says it great here, and this is a little bit of... I'll take credit for this verbiage. I shouldn't. He just opens it up by saying, Kwan is a delightful player. He is.
I love that phrasing.
It's the perfect description. His defense is delightful. His at-bats are delightful. Like, there's players that play that can be horribly frustrating and aren't delightful to watch. Stephen Kwan is delightful to watch, and I know he doesn't have the pop that's got to be scary for some of these big contracts. I do not care. Get me Steven Kwan on my team. Joe Ryan and Pablo Lopez listed. Will those two finish out their contracts as twins? Interested. Pablo would be his second one. He got a $73.5 million extension. I think that bought out a little bit of ARB. And yeah, Joe Ryan, they'll both be 32 when the 2028 season begins. 2028. What year is it? That's stupid.
That's one of those ones that don't feel real.
That's a year you heard in middle school and you laughed at. Other names listed. Sandy Alcantara got rocked again, people. Developing story there. Ozzie Albies chasing that second contract. Brendan Donovan listed. Tanner Houck listed. Nick Lodolo listed. Isaac Paredes listed. Luis Robert. Let's see when he's a free agent and what he gets paid again. Because he could play this perfectly or he could not. And how about Bryson Stott making the list? Excited for you, Bryson. I don't know. 28-29. Okay, the years are starting to get a little more fake, so I'll spend a little less time on it. Junior Caminero listed. Yeah, I don't know what he is yet. It's supposed to be special. Yuri Perez. God, crazy when a pitcher goes missing. They go missing for a little bit. Mason Wynn of the Cardinals. I don't know. Yet at the same time, I see PCA, and I couldn't be more convinced that that guy is going to get paid. I think he's already turned down $75 million from the Cubbies. CJ Abrams, what is the next part of his story? Is he one of the best players in baseball? Is he just not a shortstop? What? Okay, CJ Abrams this year, let's see. Hitting 846 OPS, a 500 slug. It's the best he has hit. Nationals fans, let us know how the defense looks, because that could change a lot of how he is enjoyed. And yeah, I wonder if a position change is needed there. So let's see. Traded by the Padres. How does this one look? Josh Bell and Juan Soto for James Wood, Mackenzie Gore, Luke Voigt mentioned, Robert Hassel III, who is he still on the prospect fast track?
I believe he's still like on their top 10 list. I forget where on the list.
Let's see. He's in AAA. He had a good fall league, which people like that a lot. Yeah, he's not where he was. At one point, he was listed as a top 50 prospect, but there's still more potential for them to unlock.
I believe because he was like the headlining pitching prospect in that deal, but I think the other guy they got is currently like their number 2 overall in their system. So
that could look like a crazy one. I mean, James Wood and C.J. Abrams, Mackenzie Gore. Those are 300 mil guys.
They're probably the guys you'd say are their 3 best players.
James Wood, I'm expecting to find him later on in the list as things elevate. Zach Neto listed, good to be a shortstop. Hunter Green listed, good to throw 100. Spencer Schwellenbach, I don't know. Some people are into it. Why not? Hunter Brown, Cole Reagans, George Kirby, Perdomo listed. Good to be a shortstop. If he can continue getting, that's what Passan says, if he can get on base at a 400 clip, yeah, he'll get paid a ton of money. Even if he can get on base at a 350 clip, he can get paid a ton. Logan Webb mentioned Jarren Duran. Yeah, if he keeps balling out like this. Sneaky age guy. 2028, he'll be 32. So what will the speed still look like then?
Already moved to a corner.
Yeah.
For the most part. Interested.
And then, again, the contenders list of this year is just a hodgepodge. I'll burn them. Wheelier Abreu, Francisco Alvarez, Shane Baz, Taj Bradley, Michael Bush, Kerry Carpenter, Kowser, Dylan Cruz listed, Doyle, Diaz, Jackson Holiday, Jared Jones. I can't do the whole list. Mason Miller.
There's some Yankees towards the end. There's a run of Rice.
And Rice.
Volpe and Wells. I'm like, yeah, if they're careers that are beginning now, with the exception of Volpe, in that crew.
Cam Smith.
Go well.
Can we get Vinny Pasquantino in pinstripes? Come on, Royals. What do you want?
You know, last November we were playing the heel for Pasquantino game.
Huh? Oh,
they need hitting.
Where's heel listed on this? Anyways, things now get juicier. The 200 million category. So if your guy hasn't been mentioned yet, maybe that's because they're about to get paid even more. Oneil Cruz. I know we've mentioned it a couple times. The Oneil Cruz breakout is happening. 15 stolen bases. That leads the National League. Looking at him last year, 146 games, only 22 steals. It was kind of like, okay, I guess is this part of his game fading? The opposite. 15 steals. 872 OPS. A 381 on base for Oneil Cruz, people. The walks are up. Almost everything is up. I think he's settling into center field. Pittsburgh fans, let me know a little more. I only see the highlights because nobody's watching you because your team's bad. Sorry.
He's capable of highlights.
He is sure capable of highlights. And free agency, people like talent. And my God, is he oozing with it. Riley Green, also mentioned here. Turns 28 before hitting the market in 2029. Year still feels fake. Solid corner outfielder defender. It feels like the offense. Weird. The offense is peaking. Passing. He's likely to have plenty of postseason experience by then. Oh, no. Riley Green's really good. I mean, he could enter a Kyle Tucker-ish category. If his defensive metrics go up just a little bit, they currently aren't there.
If he gets to a point where he's like good in the corner, which I think talent-wise he absolutely is.
Could definitely boost. Roki Sasaki name, I mean, I believe free agency 2030, so I'm just going to be careful with that one. Yeah. Spencer Strider, man. People forget how he broke the game. Let's get him healthy. He's on one of those team-friendly-ish extensions. He got 6 years, $75 million in 22. So he would hit free agency at 31. Again, he's kind of glitchy when he pitches. Like, if he has a sustained run of health, watch out. Logan Gilbert, yep. Kind of what you picture an ace being. Big, good, lots of pitches, dominant. Yep. A little weird. We like that. Christian Campbell. I mean, this is crazy. He just happened. I can't. Campbell will be 32 on opening day of 2035. Okay. And for that reason, I'm out. Be really good, Christian Campbell, in every game, not against the Yankees. 300 mil. Found James Wood, who was in that Soto trade. Has Jolly done that video yet? Is it time? Uncommon power. He's balling out, and all the nerds tell you he just hits the ball into the ground. If he ever starts elevating just a little more, and even if he doesn't, he's another one of these sneaky guys who's crazy fast. James Wood can do everything. He might just be a guy where the sport's easier for him. 300 milli. That's Soto trade. Wild. Wyatt Langford for your Texas Rangers. Okay. Again, in his rookie year, he snuck out almost 4 WAR after having a really tough start. And where, this Texas Rangers team that's had a really strugglesome start, it hasn't been Wyatt Langford, 895 OPS. God, they need the other guys to go on that team. It's just not happening. Jackson Chourio, how would you like to follow up your 100 mil rookie contract, essentially, with another 300 mil deal? Just a reminder, what he did last year, a lot of guys, the guys listed his age. I did this on Wake and Jake one day, but I think it was 75% Hall of Famers. Chourio could be one of those guys. Now, 400 million, I think this is passing having fun. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was miserable. Hope so. 2 pitchers listed. Tarik Skubal and Paul Skenes. You might call him Skenes. Skubal stays healthy for the next 2 years and continues being at a Cy Young level. He'll be 30, which would be 10 years, 40+ mil a year. That's the math, people. Scherzer and Verlander got 43.3 mil. I mean, previous to this, Cole got 9 at 324. So, yeah, if Scoob stays healthy and looks like this guy, do some inflation and payroll going up, the maths. And then I don't think anyone's really too shocked to see Skenes, who he would hit the market at 27. What could that guy do? If he's who he is, if he's who we thought he was, I wouldn't have him in the 400 mil column. Callum. Hey, welcome to Wake and Jake, the newest Midwest show. Tarik Skubal looks good. I'm surprised he's got him in the 4 here.
I guess just natural pitcher caveat, assuming you'll have a hurt year at some point between now and then. But
I mean, if he hits free, have we seen the young pitcher? Who's the young pitcher who's gotten
pitcher
paid?
that got paid at that age?
Because it's a lot of the olds, like Scherzer and Verlander just got mentioned. Has there? I mean, this is crazy, and let's see if this guy ever shows up again. Julio Urias was kind of supposed to be the guy that was young and good.
I think, and that's like the kind of the secret with a lot of the pitchers is that because it's a more inherently fragile position, they're slightly more likely to take whatever extension they get offered.
I mean, Yamamoto's kind of the young pitcher that broke the bank with 12.325, but nobody knew if he could pitch.
Yeah, we didn't know for sure he's good.
And
hitting free agency at 25, he got 12.325. So,
who am I missing?
Like
has there been a 28-year-old pitcher who was like the guy?
Like I'm looking at again Shohei Ohtani, different.
It's a little different
because he's also an MVP level hitter.
Little caveat.
I'm just looking through biggest contracts ever to see where we get some pitchers, and it's Yamamoto with the 5th biggest ever before he threw a pitch. Cole is your next highest pitcher, and he was
he 30?
Like we said, he was 30 or 29 year one. Let's see how old Cole was year 1 of that deal. 30 sounded right.
Hey man, if Skenes does this right, and he hits free agency at age 27, and he looks like Paul Skenes, 400 mil might be very low.
That's the like get in the room price.
Might be very low.
Yeah, Cole on Baseball Reference age 29 was his first season. With the Yanks.
Rounding off this article, there's 500 mil, and I'm going to give myself a couple pats on the back because I think BBD, you might be my spell check on this. I think it was 2022 or so. I just had a realization that Kyle Tucker is going to get incredibly paid. Passan has him as a 500 mil guy. Again, I know Kyle Tucker's name probably doesn't jump off the page to you like Soto or some other guys, but if you're into WAR, what Kyle Tucker can do defensively, offensively, speed, and it feels like he found a new level. What he did last year and what he's now doing this year, it feels like he turned from an 850 OPS guy into a high 9s. He was 993 in 78 games last year. He's 957 in his 37 games with the Cubs this year. Every tool.
Yeah.
290, 399 on base, 559 slugging while being a great defender. I was joking. I was like, a couple years ago, I was saying Kyle Tucker's probably going to be people might be shocked. He might be a 200 mil guy. I think I've even threw a 3 out there and called myself out. 500 mil for Kyle Tucker, and I don't think it's a bad investment. I really don't. Wow. Are the Cubbies going to pay that? Who is? Dodgers. Also listed with Kyle Tucker. How about Elly De La Cruz, man? Holy cow. Like I said, it's good to be a shortstop, and it might be good to be this guy. Because talk about every tool. One day the speed will go away, and sure, and that's fine and all. I don't want to say I want to fight back on this, because what Elly De La Cruz did at age 22, 25 homers, 67 steals, every tool maxed out, video game character. I got to see a little more. Like, I know it's early in this young baseball season. He's got a 751 OPS. I'm sure he's going to have the hot streak, and people think he was going to compete for MVP this year, and he probably does, right? But I'm going to have to see a little more from Elly De La Cruz. The strikeouts are still there. The defense has never fully clicked. Like, I forget, was he leading in errors this year? Yeah, he is. 7 errors. I know you shouldn't just fully mention in errors, but he also led in errors last year. It's not a great category to lead in. It shouldn't be the final measuring stick, but it hasn't fully come together defensively that he's got to do that and be willing to stay at shortstop because that's where the value comes. I think there's going to be the next level for him. I'm a little surprised Passan had him up here. And that rounds it out with one more player listed in a category of their own. It's a baby bird. It's Gunnar Henderson. 600 milli. Again, Bobby Witt not involved in this conversation because he already got an extension, although he's going to opt out and probably get another 500 mil. Gunnar Henderson mentioned. Debuted at 21. He'll be a free agent in 2028 at age 27. He can play shortstop. There's probably a third base in the future. Hey, man, I thought Corey Seager was going to have to move to third base by now, and he's stuck it out, and he's actually kind of looked better at shortstop in recent years. Gunner's got to get it going this year, blah, 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 early season. I don't know. Again, him and Bobby Witt got screwed by Aaron Judge existing on top of the shortstop list. He came into this year with a little bit of an injury. Gunner's going to start going. He's a special talent, man. 9 WAR last year at age 23, playing shortstop. God, if you're Baltimore, figure out a plan to keep him around even an extra year. Give him one of those buyout arbitration to get the extra year because Baltimore needs to feel something good. Otherwise, how far away are we going to be from daydreaming their version of the Soto trade? If you're a Baltimore fan that made it this far in the episode, I'm so sorry. But I thank you. And comment below. I guess if there's any names that you're surprised you didn't hear, and if you didn't hear them, again, Passan had some contract. If they already got a little bit of paid, he kept them off the list. Like Cal Raleigh, I believe, got 100 mil, so he goes unlisted in this. Julio, same. Although Julio's next one, right? Anyways, baseball is good. Guys are getting paid gobbles of money. Gunnar Henderson just got listed for $600 million. And yeah, there was a little upcoming free agency insight there. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys have been enjoying the baseball. I don't think I have any other super around the horn things I need to get to baseball-wise. So I guess I'll just say, hey, basketball-wise, go watch. It's the time of year to do it. And, there's a couple complimentary comments on the basketball talk last time, so thank you guys. But what I will say, as I'll instantly throw myself under the bus, I mentioned the Nuggets were supposed to maybe punt game 1 to the Thunder because they were going to be exhausted from their 7-game set. They sneak out a late come-from-behind victory. How's your 42, 22, and 6 from the Joker? That guy is on just a different level constantly, and he should have 4 straight NBA MVPs, which that's nuts. Aaron Gordon has been playing out of his dome. Like, I think we need to put more respect on Aaron Gordon's name. He kind of shot great from 3 this year, and everyone was just like, well, do you really want Aaron Gordon shooting threes? Maybe. Won them their last series. Helped win them game 1 against Oklahoma City. It'll be very interesting to see if the young OKC boys start getting a little clenched. Game 2 in Oklahoma City, it's a fantastic arena. I would assume they're going to bounce back. If the Nuggets could lurk, bring them up into the altitude with a 2-0 lead. I don't know. I think the other side of this, you guys know I'm a big Ryan Russillo fan, and I listen to Bill Simmons a lot this time of year as well. They said often game 1 can be the game where this does happen. Like sometimes we get more excited about the rest, but these guys learn each other as the series goes, that usually the better team adapts and learns how they can win, that sometimes game one can be the most deceptive game. Let's see what happens. If I'm Denver, I don't care about that. I just got a game in Oklahoma City that I didn't know I was going to get. To get one. And I think you could say a similar thing about the New York Knicks, baby. How about that? Again, everything I just said about a game one and being able to come in and, the Knicks, they had the longer series. I will say this, the Celtics do have a history of throwing a dud out there and being able to recover basically better than any other NBA team because they are really good. They just have they literally have a history of like being up 20 can be dangerous for them because they kind of pull off the gas. The other thing though, DeBrickashaw Ferguson from three, as you probably already know, the most missed 3-point shots in an NBA playoff game, 15 of 60. Not your father's NBA. Throw it down to Al Jefferson. That's what I want. You have to figure their puck luck from three changes. It'll be very interesting if they start off having a slow shooting night yet again, and will they feel that? I think if you're the New York Knicks, I didn't expect to get one in Boston, if I'm being honest. You hoped you were in one, and then Brunson kicked in, and it happened. To get that performance from OG, and how about Bridges showing a little...
Down the stretch,
Stones.
The final 10, 15 minutes of game time was about as flawless a 10 to 15 minutes of game time as you'll get from a guy that shot 3 of 12 for the game or whatever the final number ended up being.
BBD, where are you at with the zesty cat content?
I enjoy consuming it,
okay.
But it's not the type of thing that I think actually matters.
Oh, it matters to me. I like it. Man, Mikal Bridges, 51 minutes.
Crazy.
That's nuts. I'm very interested to see how both games survive game two. It's, oh my God, do we have a chance to win it? Let's go and get this and empty the tank. You know the Knicks and Tibbs are pretty much going to empty the tank because that's his only move, which I don't necessarily love sometimes. Like, there'd almost be a part of me that if Boston rolled them and Jalen Brunson played 31 minutes, I'd be hype, which is so dumb. And yeah, for the Nuggets, kind of same thing. This is the Thunder season that's been, I don't want to say magical, but God, they are so good and so deep and so talented. There's a reason everyone wasn't yelling from the rooftop like the Thunder are going to win the title. Because you got to do it to do it. And this is going to be one of their first tests to see what they're really made of with the defending MVP on the other side, the Nugs. I don't have a ton. Pacers, Cavaliers, I'll just give credit to Bill Simmons that he was like, people might have ignored this, but the Pacers and the Cavaliers have essentially been the same team for the last 40 games. Pacers with a sneaky, decent playoff history, one of the more underrated coaches of all time, and they just steal a game. They absolutely steal it. And if you're the Cavaliers, you have to be a little broken. You're heading on the road where the Pacers have been really good at home this year. It's scary hours a little bit. You got to lock it in for one game. I do think motivation on winning is a real thing, and I do think you're going to see Cleveland turn it on a little more. I mean, no Mobley, though. No Garland, though. No Hunter, though. How much baseball stuff do I come back to and be like, well, the injuries, like, you ask me the truth about the NL West this year, I'll tell you it's probably going to be injuries that sort it out. If the Padres, Giants, or D-backs get hit with the injury bug, that probably sorts it out. Cleveland might be in that 64-win season. They're down 2-0 heading on the road. I do like every year it feels like there's the road team wins every game in a series. Feels like this could be it. Doubt Cleveland goes out like this, but if they do, man, it's it's an all-timer because they were also kind of an OKC light. Like, they play with depth, and they come at you in different waves. Again, maybe there's more injuries here, and that's what I'm ignoring. Pacers have been playing a better brand of basketball the second half of the season. They have depth as well. They come at you with 11 a lot of games. I don't know. I don't know what to do with that series. Because I kind of want the Cavs to work, and it'd be hard for me to believe they just threw away their season in the final 30 seconds of a game 2. And then your last series, Golden State, the other old team that was supposed to punt game 1, and Minnesota's might be a nightmare matchup for them. It's they've got the bigs. They've got these big guys they can throw at Draymond all game and ruin his day. And look at, the defense that Jaden McDaniels can play on whoever he's guarding. Minnesota stopped scoring. 31 points in the first half. Can't do that. Ant, I like you. I know nothing's going in, and that's a bad feeling. 5 of 29 for 3, but you can't have that. Game 1 at home. Maybe it's championship pedigree. Draymond with 18, 4 of 10 from 3. Steph leaves this game. He's hurt. If you had told everyone that, how much money would you have put on the T-Wolves? Buddy Hield also kind of doing his Andrew Wiggins postseason breakout for Golden State. He puts up a 24 spot. Golden State was a team that were they going to punt this game? Were they going to be able to go back home with a win? I think the fact they've got one on the board, they're feeling fantastic. And it could end up being a massive win if Draymond can be some sort of threat, if Buddy Hield is a weapon. Pajemski has been pretty bad. Can they spark him in game 2 that they have options to go to? Because they were running on 5 men in their game 7, and they looked really good. So the NBA playoffs, this is the time of year they win. Go enjoy that. After your team plays their baseball game, flip on the late game. Why not? And if there's hockey on too, I think you guys know at this point, I don't have the analysis there, but any of the playoff hockey games, if it's close, it's amazing content. It's where they win, but they don't have the stars like the NBA. That it's very much the jerseys. But go check that out. Go check out all of the sports. I have to run. It's JJTV time. Make sure you go see us over there. And I have to use the bathroom really badly. So enjoy your weekend. Subscribe. And we'll see you back Monday, okay? Love.